I certainly am 100% in support of. Again, I'm not an Assadist. I'm not somebody who is sitting there saying Assad needs to come back and all this stuff.
100%.
In fact, Syria, frankly, didn't factor into my life, except for the role that it played in facilitating the axis of resistance support for Hamas. And so my stance right now isn't that I regret that Assad is gone. My stance is that I don't know how Hamas is going to survive this. And Hamas made I didn't make the decision on October 7th.
Right.
It's not like I said, do it. It happened. And I said, okay, they did it. Now
what do we got to do?
Now what are they trying to accomplish?
Sure.
And then you assess what's going on and the role that the axis of resistance was playing in facilitating the Hamas plan was a critical role. And we were and again, I'm somebody who, if you guys have listened to anything I say, you know that I cry when I talk about the children of Gaza. I don't cry at all. But that brings tears to my eyes because they're children.
100%. 100%.
And so now I'm looking at the situation where Hind Rajab died. Tens of thousands of other children have died. Nameless children whose bodies are still under the rubble. Why did that happen? If it happened because of Israel's crimes.
Yeah.
But it happened because of October 7th and what came after that. If those sacrifices to mean anything, then this all has to lead to a Palestinian state.
100%.
And the way the logic was going was that Israel had overcommitted itself because of the pressure placed on it by the axis of resistance. The economy was collapsing. Netanyahu was in political crisis. And when Netanyahu negotiated that ceasefire with Hezbollah, it was done because the military said, we can't go on.
Can't do it.
And then, I don't know if you saw Seymour Hersh's Substack.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah.
But he talked about how Netanyahu had lied to the Israeli people about the hostages and blamed it on Hamas when it was his fault, and that he violated the law. So he has a whole new investigation going at him, and it looked like he wasn't going to survive the year.
Yeah.
And so I literally went from a moment where I'm sitting there going, Hamas may have pulled it off. There might be a Palestinian state after all.
What point was this?
When the ceasefire happened with the Hezbollah.
Really? I thought the ceasefire was kind of the lowest point.
No, the ceasefire was dictated to Netanyahu by the military who said, we don't want to go on. Okay. And Netanyahu now is left in a situation where he didn't defeat Hezbollah again he didn't defeat Hezbollah. Where was I talking? You. Again he didn't defeat Hezbollah, which means it's a victory for Hezbollah. And now there's a political crisis.
Achieve their strategic objective of occupying and taking out Hezbollah. Right.
Sure.
But then overnight, Syria falls.
You should. Orange mint.
And that.
But at that point, there was a ceasefire. What were you expecting Hezbollah to do at that point? Because they were tired out.
Right, but Hezbollah. It's not what I expected Hezbollah to do.
Hitting good. Very good.
Iran was going to.
So I'm blowing in this guy's face. Let him at least have some.
Using the land corridor. And Hezbollah would then exist as a loaded pistol against Israel's head, as it always has existed. The one thing that has kept Israel from attacking Iran is Hezbollah. Because Israel knows the moment it starts putting the resources necessary into attacking Iran, Hezbollah goes off like a loaded pistol against their head. And so even though there was a ceasefire, Hezbollah wasn't defeated, it was still there. And so
weren't they forced north of the river, and the Lebanese army was the one to take their spot in the south?
That was going to happen, but from the Hezbollah perspective, they never expected Israel to comply with the ceasefire. And Israel didn't. On day one, Israel violated the ceasefire. So from the Hezbollah perspective is, the ceasefire would break, and that would be even more of a problem for Netanyahu. But now Israel collapses. And the one thing, again, I'm not a decision maker, I'm just an analyst.
Sorry to interrupt, I just wanted to explain to you what exactly you're watching. So, Propaganda & Co., we are an independent media channel and we're passionate about debunking propaganda and exploring important topics like global economics, history, and geopolitics. This is our second time inviting Scott Ritter to Tampa, Florida for a podcast, except this time, because of what was taking place in Syria, I decided to invite him for dinner and introduce him to some local Syrian friends so he could have a conversation with them and learn more about their perspective and educate them about his own. Now, because of our need to develop a self-sustainable model, we've launched our own private website where we post the full podcast conversation and behind-the-scenes videos like the one you were just watching to our website so that paid subscribers can gain access to them. This gives you exclusive behind-the-scenes with the commentators and analysts that you love, and it supports us by generating revenue that helps us keep the lights on. So, if you'd like to gain access to this full conversation, please do consider becoming a paid subscriber on our website, prop, the letter N, co.com.